All right. So let's get started right away so that way we don't miss any time or anything like that. Okay. First of all, welcome. Again, thank you for being on time and also having your cameras on. It helps you to focus and it helped me to, so for me to just make sure you guys are on focus too. But let's work together so that way we can get the best out of these classes. Okay. And again, thank you for your time. You could have chosen other things to do, but you're here for a purpose. So our purpose is to get the best scores, just like the other kids are getting it. So we want to get those scores as well. Okay. So let's get started. And just to kind of like a review from the last class, and we did a talk about the radicals, right? So the radicals are, we can call as a square roots or rather cube roots. So these are the basic radicals we can call, but again, how do we solve those questions? Okay, thank you, Abhishek. All right, so guys, if you have trouble with your camera, ask your parents to text me. Otherwise, please leave your cameras on. So I think I mentioned to you last class too, but just keep your cameras on, please. In case, unless you have trouble with it, just let me know so we can do something, okay? Excellent. So let's review a little bit from the radicals from the last class, and then we will jump on to the, practice different type of questions for the test point of view. So let's see. I'm going to put some rules. We did this one last class too, but just kind of like a review for quickly. So if I write an nth radical x, which is I can write it x to the 1 over n. Example, let's say if I have cube root of 8, right? I can write it a to the 1/3 exponent. Okay, already. Thank you, Srinidhi. Okay, so you get it? So this is the cube root, basically nth root. So in this radicals, there is another important rule that you need to remember is the product rule. So the product rule is if I have nth root, x times y, I can write this nth radical for the x and also nth root radical for the y. So whatever you have inside the radical, you can distribute that to your nth root or the root to the both of the inside terms, basically. Okay. And also remember, there is one more. A lot of the kids get confused on this one with the test. That if you have nth radical x plus y, you cannot split. Remember this. You cannot. This is not equal nth radical x time or plus or whatever minus nth radical y. So you can't do that when you have a plus. You can do it, multiply and divide. You can do that, but not for the addition or subtraction either. Okay, that's good. So these are the main important rules that we need to kind of like understand in the radicals. But obviously, simplifying radicals is another one we need to know. Let's say I want you to guys get on your papers. Again, I think as every time I remind you guys, you don't need to write everything that I write on the screen because I want you to more focus and try to understand, ask questions than taking notes, because I'll send you the notes anyways, but you will write a running notes, means you have a notebook, take some important like formulas or some problems that you work on and some tips that I give it to you. So write it down, only those stuff. Don't write everything. I want you to more focus than, writing, focus on the writing, okay? All right, so this is the main important rules. And I'm going to give you a small question. Please try to answer this one on your notebook and then put in the answer on the chat box so I can get an idea. So simplify radical 18. Tell me what you get. Put them in the answer in the chat box. Okay, that's good. You can direct message to me. That's really good. Okay, that's good. I see it. That's good. Okay. So anytime when you have a radical 18, this I can write it. Since the 18 is not a perfect square, we can break it down to 9 times 2. But again, this, according to the rule number 2, I can say this is rule number 1, 2. Rule number 2, I can split the radical inside so that I can get you radical 9 times radical 2, which is 3 radical 2. Everybody clear? Because these basics are important when you solve these problems up here. Okay, all good? Okay, so if you're good to go with that one, let's do some practice questions. And so that way we should be good to go with this topics as well. Okay, so the next one I want you to, okay. Also, we kind of like to review a little bit of the exponential rules that you needed for this topic or to answer these questions. Let's say if I have 3 to the negative exponent, I can make it this one positive exponent by bringing to the denominator. Okay, 3 to the negative 2 becomes positive when you bring it to the denominator. Okay, so that is 1 over 3 to the second exponent. Similarly, if I have a negative in the denominator, bring it to the top, it becomes positive. Let's say if I have 5 to the second exponent, I bring it to the numerator, it's going to be positive exponent. Okay, these are the basics you guys already, I'm expecting you already know, remember? If not, this is a good time to catch up those. And similarly, if I have 3 to the second exponent and I multiply with 3 to the fourth exponent, you have a same base, you add them. 2 plus 4, which is 6. Okay, so this is the multiplication property. And then similarly, division property, if you divide them, you subtract the exponents. Okay, all right, just to review a little bit quickly. Now let's try to look into some questions and how do we answer these questions, okay? All right, I'm gonna put a one question here and then let's start with the problems, because when you try to solve a different type of questions, that way you will know, how much practice you need to work on these type of questions. Now let's do the first question. Okay, all right. Okay, Abhishek, can you please read this question for us?
Which of the following is equivalent to 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of n over 2 to the power of n times 2 for all positive values of n?
So the all positive values of n, basically they're giving is like n is a restriction of the positive values. In this question is not really make any difference when you solve them. Just give a try and then see, put the answers in the chat box. Again, I'm not worried about if you get a wrong answer, okay? I'm only worried when you don't do that. So it's okay if you get a wrong answer. It's not a big deal because you're all learning. And once you learn, you don't do any mistakes. But until that, I want you to try. It's not a big deal if you get a wrong answer. And feel free to, and it's okay to get a mistakes too, okay? But just try. All right, I see some answers already, that's good. Very good. Okay, all right, good. So whatever you guys, get it, just so you can get it on there. All right, eyes on the screen, so we can go over this one. So first of all, when you see the problems like this, then obviously you're looking to simplify it. And one thing is, you don't need to write all the steps when you're doing these questions on the test. All you have to try to minimize your steps. But I'm going to kind of like showing you how to solve. So I'm going to go step by step. So since it is a multiplication in between, I think I can cross these two out. I only left with the 2 to the n over 2. And then basically 2 to the 2 means is basically what? Same base. You subtract the exponents. That's going to be 2 to the n minus 1. Yeah, C is the good answer for this. Good to go? All good? So in the test, definitely you don't want to do all these work. So all you have to do is look at the question and see, okay, 2 to the n cross out, and remember the rule, and -1, boom, done. And you move on to the next question. Okay. As many steps you can reduce, that is always good for the test. But for now, it's okay. Now I understand the concepts and practice them, and then improve your skills of solving faster. Good to go? All right, next we can try. Okay. So the next one, same using the rules of exponents. Let's try one more question. We're going to use the rules of exponents. Ara, please read this question for us.
If x to the power of m to the power of 3 times x to the power of m plus 1 to the power of 2 equals x to the power of 37, for all values of x, what is the value of m?
So they gave you some exponential equation. We're trying to figure out what could be the x, or what could be the value of the m in this case. Good. Okay. That's pretty good. Very good. Okay. Good, good, good. It's okay if you don't know, you can write it on the chat box. I don't know, that's all right with me, but I want you to give it a try, okay? I see that, you guys good. Good to go. Okay, now let's go over this one together, okay? As on the screen, we'll work together. So first of all, I see an exponent to the power to the power, or you can exponent to the exponent. We can just multiply these two. That's one of the rules, it's like x to the 3m or m3, doesn't matter. And times, and then x to the, I'll distribute this one. Everybody following with me? Again, one more thing I do tell every time, if you don't understand even a simple step, please ask me right away, okay? I don't want you to keep it to yourself and then, so you worry about it, but please ask right away. So that's going to be a 2m plus 2, which is x to the 37. One thing I see that all the bases are same, probably I can just make it, equation out of this, or I'll write one more step for you guys, and then we can find out kind of a simple way for this. Now, since you have a same base, add the exponents, which is 3m plus 2m plus 2, which is x to the 37. Now, when you have a same base and an equal, and you can get rid of the bases. So you can just simply write it down. 3m plus 2m is 5m plus 2, which is 37. And just a simple linear equation. And subtract 2, that's 5m is 35, m is 7. Good to go? Answer. Okay. So this is the general way, like, if you solving step by step. But if if I see the same question on the test, probably I might simplify even a little faster. So what I can do, if this question on the test, all you have to just lower the steps. That's all basically. The best way, give me 1 second. 1 second. So if the same question comes under the test, what you can do, instead of writing all these steps, you can do the distributive property that is going to be a 3m plus this is 2m plus 2, which is 37. You can write the equation right away. That's 5m plus 2, which is 5m is 35, m is 7. That's it, done with the problem already, okay? That's all you gotta do, quick. So you don't want to spend time or showing the work, just do it faster. All right, good to go. Let's try the next question here. Next one. Same concept, that's what we're looking into. Okay, Bhavani, can you please read this one for us?
If 9 radical 12 minus 4 radical 27 equals n radical 3, what is the value of n?
What could be the n value? Go ahead and try, just like the first question we did. All right, let's see what the answers, put them in the chat box. Cool, that's good. That's good. Again, as I mentioned to you all the time, it's okay if you get mistakes, but as long as you're trying, that is the priority. If you're not trying, then it is going to be a trouble, okay? And let's see, okay, 30 more seconds, we'll go over this one. Okay, no problem, we'll check. All right, good, good, good. Okay, so let's look into this problem quickly. So anytime you're dealing with the radicals and try to get a same term or the same thing inside the radical. So what I can do this problem is like 9 and radical 12, I can write it. I think is 4 times 3 is a good one to do it. And minus, this is gonna be 9 times 3. Is 1 perfect square root, that's what I'm thinking too. Now square root of 4 is, it's 2. So I can write this one is 9 times 2 radical 3, and then minus radical 9 is basically 3, then radical 3. Does everybody understand this step, when I get it? If you don't understand, please ask. This is, again, I have mentioned to you many times, this is for you, not for me, okay? And I want you feel comfortable when whatever I work show you guys do there. Now this is 18 radical 3 minus 12 radical 3, which is basically 6 radical 3, okay? Which is equals to, they give it to you, n radical 3. So if I compare these two, n is positive 6. Good to go? That's it. That's all we gotta do, okay? Good, good work. Let's try similar to this, one more. This is another good question too. And again, I want to say thank you to Paige for sharing all the, when he took the test and what type of, test looks like, and what is the best to expect, and how the timing, duration. Thank you for sharing last week. That helps a lot of students to plan when they take the test. And then our goal right now, I know so most of you guys are, if you so taking the NMS QT, that is also another important test is coming up. And please keep your focus towards that. And obviously, if you're taking SAT or ACT or PSAT, the content are the same. The way I ask you the questions are a little bit different, but otherwise all the content is the same. So if you master the content, and you can answer any type of questions that comes under the test. All right, so let's see. Jyoti, can you please read this question for us?
I can, but my Wi-Fi is a bit choppy right.
It's all right. Yeah, try your best. Okay, she have a hard time there. That's all right. Srinidhi, can you please read this question first?
Yeah, if 3/3 to the power of minus k equals 9/9 root 27, what is the value of k?
So let's find out the k value, okay? So think of the rules that we have, and always, some rules that you're going to apply, especially these type of tests. The questions are not hard. I'll repeat. The questions are, you can solve them without a calculator, even in the calculator part. You can only, all you have to just look for the logic, make sure you know the content, and also make sure you know the rules. If you know these three things, and you can answer any type of question without any challenge or without any difficulty. Okay? Let's see if we can get through this. Guess there's some answers coming up. That's good. That's pretty good. So if you want to try it down where you get a little better internet connection, you want to switch to take your Chromebook, that will be great too. Because I want you to have that, you listen to what I'm speaking. That is really important as well, okay? All right, so let's look into this question here. And I see a lot of good answers. And some of you guys are still trying. All right, I'm gonna give you 30 more seconds to try, because it's important you feel the difficulty in the questions. Good job. Good work. Okay. Could be calculator, but we can try without calculator as well. Without calculator, probably a little faster too. Okay. I'm just kind of like answering the questions on the chat box too, okay? While I'm speaking with you guys. Okay, all right, let's look into this one. Eyes on the screen, so that way we're not missing anything. Okay, so first of all, when I look at this question, I'm dealing with the radicals. My first thing I'm going to think on my mind is probably what's the best way to answer these questions, right? So first thing I'm going to just do, what I'm going to do, I'll see the 3 is the one here. So I'm going to try to bring everything to the base of 3. So I can bring this one, I can write it 3 to the 1 minus of negative k. But understand? Since I'm dividing, I subtract the exponents, or subtract the exponents. So that's going to be 1 minus k. And then this, I am going to write a 9 square root of 27 is 3 radical 3. Everybody understand how I got 3 radical 3? If you don't understand, please stop me right away. Then Mr. Ram, how did you get that for 3 radical 3? I'm more than happy to help you. But 27 is basically it's 9 times 3. 9 times 3 is 9. Radical 9 is 3. That's all you get. Now I can write it, this is 3 to the 1 plus k, which is, I'm going to write it 9 is 3 to the second exponent, and then 3 is 3 to the 1. 3 is radical 3 means 3 to the 1/2. Okay, now I see the same base, just ignore the base, you just deal with the numerator. So not numerator, but I'm talking about exponents. 1 plus k, that's 2 plus 1 is 3, 3.5, 3.5, and then k is 2.5 or 2.5. Okay, check this one. Good to go. Good job. Okay. So always try to look at how can I make it simplify this question so that way it makes it easier. I mean, if you have a test, it is on the test, just try to get it into the same base. That way should be good to go. Okay. Good work, guys. Good work. All right, next one. Ansh, can you please read this question for us?
Yeah. If 8 to the 1/6 equals 2 to the negative 1/12 to the negative n, what is the value of n?
That's right. So they gave you this some expression or equation here, and we wanted to get the n value. Give it a try, everybody, and we can go over. Very good. Very good. Nice. Good job. Good work. Okay. Thirty more seconds. All right. Okay, let's see. Eyes on the screen. Let's go over this together. Eyes on the screen. Okay. Now, 8 to the 6, 1/6, I can write a 8. Since I see the 2 is the base here, probably in my mind, that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, I'm going to get everything as a base of 2. Okay. So when you solve the problems in the test, you have to have a procedure in your brain, kind of like guiding process. So in this guiding process, you're looking at the basis 2. That's what I want you to get it. So 8, I can write a 2 to the third exponent, and then to the 1/6. And then this is the same as 2 to the negative times negative is positive. That's n times is n/12. Okay. Now I see the same base, get rid of the base, and just to deal with the exponents, that's 3 times half. 3 times 1/6 is 1/2, is n/12. So obviously you can cross multiply, whatever. That's going to be n is 6, because half is, that's 1/10, that is a 6. Good. Okay, and value is 6. See, this question seems hard when you look at the first thing you see is like, holy, this is going to be exponent and then another exponent and it's negatives, radicals. It's crazy. But if you make it to channel through your brain, kind of like streamline it through it. Okay, let me do this step by step. I can get through. So that way it's D. best way to answer these questions. All good. Next one. This is one of my favorite questions. And let me put this one here. Let's see. Okay. And this question is a good question for your radical concept. Let me see. Mihira, can you please read this one for us?
Yeah. If 2a squared plus 3a minus 5a squared equals 9, what is the value of a minus a squared?
Okay. Let's give it a try. And they give you some equation first, and they're trying to ask you to find out a minus a squared value. Let's see, I want to see how much time you guys are going to take a little bit. Good. If some answer is coming up already, that's good. Good job. Very good, very good. Excellent. See, a couple of you guys are already answering this question pretty fast. Very good. Okay, so it seems like some of you guys have a little bit of difficulty with this. And since we took it, good work. Nice, nice, nice. Good job. Excellent. Good work. Okay, now eyes on the screen. So I'll tell you why this question is my favorite, or it's a good question for the test. Okay, now eyes on the screen, we're going to go step by step and then see what are normally the kids think, and then how can we answer this question. Okay, so if I look at this question, obviously I have the like terms. I'm going to combine those like terms here, which is 2 minus 5, that is negative 3/8 second, plus 3a, which is 9. Good. Now, sometimes what we do in generally, because this is what we used to do in the school, and normally what we do is like you bring this 9 to the one side and you make a quadratic equation, right? So you try to make a quadratic equation, and then you see this negative 3, and then you try to divide by negative 3, and it's going to get you a squared minus a plus 9 is 0. And then you try to look at it, factor this one, or if you don't find the factors, then you're going to try to look at a quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this is our brain is trained to do it in school, right? This is what we teach, but eyes on the screen. The same question, how can we answer this one? Now, once I have this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide it by just the 3 everywhere. So I'm going to divide it by 3 everything. So what I'm going to get, it's a negative a squared plus a, which is negative 9. Or just, I'm dividing, I'm sorry, I did something mistake. So when I'm dividing just the 3, right? This is the 3, right? So now, if I look at it carefully, I already got the answer. I don't need to do any step, because what they're asking is negative a squared. I have negative a squared plus a, they're asking of a value, so answer is 3 outright. You see that? So beautiful question, this one. So this is the technique, or I can say a tip for this question. You've got to be very careful. Just pay attention to the question itself. Everybody good? And write it down, this one on your notebooks probably. This is a really good one because this is what we teach in school. I mean, including me, because I mean, most of you guys know I'm a full-time school teacher. I teach hundreds of kids like every day, just like your teachers. So I know what I teach in school. So same way, how do we need to get ready for the test? This is the techniques they need to know. Okay, let's go over the next one. So with the today's topic, probably we will be done with the radicals, and then we can move on to a different topics a little later. Okay, next one. Preeti, can you please read this question for us?
If 2 to the power x equals 10, what is the value of 5 parentheses 2 to the power of 2x parentheses plus 2 to the power x?
All right, so the 2 to the x value is given to you. So let's try to answer what they're asking. Okay, let's see some answers popping up. Okay. Okay. Good, good. Couple of different answers. That means it's a good question. Okay. Definitely, it's a good question because I see a lot variety of the answers popping up. Okay, this is a good question for the test. Good. Alrighty, let's go over this one together so you can get an idea. Cool. I want everybody to pay attention because I see a long variety of answers, so it's better to pay close attention to everybody. Okay, so for this question, obviously, you know, it's hard to tell right away which one is the best way to go with it. But you have to be a little bit of careful, and then it should be not a big problem at all. So what I'm going to do, since I see this one, 2 to the x is given 10, the value of the 2 to the x is given to me. So that means I can replace this one with a 10. But the only problem is, what do I write it if I have a 2 to the 2x? It's not 2 to the x, it's different than 2 to the 2x. So what I'm going to do, I'll try to answer this problem. The 2 to the 2x, I can write it 2 to the x to the second exponent. Can we write like this? Because you remember the rules that we talked about it at the beginning of the exponents. So anything you have a power, I can write it, you're going to power to the power. So this is basically 2x. Agree? Because x times 2 is the same as the 2x. But now I know this is 2 to the x is 10. So I can replace 2 to the x with a 10 square plus 10. Now all comes to the PEMDAS rules. Which one should I do? Exponents, that's 5 times 100 plus 10, which is 510. Very good question, because I see plenty of different answers. Very important question. Good job, guys. I see a lot of, when we see a different type of question, that's where you learn more from these type of questions, okay? It's okay to do mistakes. Don't worry, oh man, why I got mistakes. It's okay. Right, next one. Let's see who can read. Prerna, please read this one for us.
If, in parentheses, 4 plus 4 radical 2, close parentheses, squared equals a plus b radical 2, where a and b are integers, what is the value of a plus b?
When we see this question, let's say if you're taking a test, when you look at this question, half of the kids, they're gonna be like, oh man, this is radicals and squares. I don't know what to do, just skip it or just do mistakes. But these are the questions that are really good, and let's give it a try, and I'll talk about this one more. Okay, I see some answers. Okay, check your answers one more time. Good. Good. Okay, no problem. We can go over. Again, this is another good question. I see a lot of different answers up there. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's go over this one together. Yeah, it is a confused one, yes. Yeah, but it's all right. We can check that. Okay. All right, I see some different answers. Good work. Okay, so first of all, when I look at these type of questions, and these are the important questions for just any test. So you always see these type of questions on tests. So what's first thing is I'm gonna go step by step because I see a lot of answers on there. So let's go step by step, and then I can give you some techniques or a little bit faster way to do this problem. So first of all, I see an exponent 2. I can simply write a 4 plus 4 radical 2, and then times 4 plus 4 radical 2. Agree? So because it's a square, which is a plus b squared, we can write a plus b times a plus b. Let's do the FOIL method or whatever the method you call. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times this, it's 16 radical 2. And then this times this is a 16 radical 2. And this times this is a 16. And then radical 2 times radical 2, that is 2. Everybody understand this step so far? I just did the FOIL. And then if you see any combined like terms, let's do that together. So if I combine the like terms, that is going to be 16 plus 32 radical 2 plus 16 times 2 is again 32. Now I can combine the again like terms. These two are the like terms. Let's put it together. So that's going to be what, 48 plus 32 radical 2. Now this is I got to match with this. Okay, so this is going to be a plus b radical 2. Now if I compare these two, a value is 48 and then b value is 32. Agree? I'm going to ignore the radical at this time because I'm looking at only a and b. Don't confuse with what happened to the radical 2 because I'm just comparing the a and b values. So a is 48 and b is 32. But my question is asking me to solve a plus b. So the a plus b is 48 plus 32, which is 80. Okay, this is the actual process of solving this problem. And let's say if I wanted to try this problem a little bit faster, and then probably we could do. So I'm going to show you guys right now, so that way you can get an idea how to answer this question a little faster. Okay. All right. Make sure you guys look at it. Make sure you guys understand it. And if you have a question, like if you don't understand this step, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. And this is all for you guys only. So it's okay to ask questions. I'll be happy when you ask questions. Okay. And then don't feel, you know, what I am going to think or what other person is going to think, anything like that. Don't understand, ask questions. Okay, good. So let's go over this problem one more time. Let's say if this question comes under the test, and how do we answer this one a little faster? Because when it comes to the test, even if you save a couple of seconds from each question, that's still a good deal, okay? Because you're going to use that time for those problems. You need to have a lot of reading, and you need to read the question, understand, apply formulas. You will see those type of questions as well. Okay, let's see. Eyes on the screen. Okay, do this quickly. Okay. So if you see a problem like this on the test, and the first thing in your mind, you're going to look at it. I see we're comparing two of these, these two expressions equal. So if I look at it carefully, I can square this. If you remember the a plus b square formula, a squared, that is 16. This 4 squared is a 16. And then also if I square this one, because a squared plus b squared means this square, which is 16 times 2, that is 32. Okay. And then plus 2ab part. So that 2ab part is 2 times a times b. So that's 4 times 4 is 16 times, you're going to multiply with 1 by 2 as well. So then this is going to be 32. Okay. So basically 32 radical 2. This is what we're going to get. But we're going to ignore the radical 32. All you have to just add these two, and then you can get the answer of the 48 plus 32. That is 80. That's all the answer that you need to do for this question. Okay, get it? So that's how you can go a little faster with this problem. Good to go? Make sense? We don't need to do a lot of math here, but you have to understand the basics of a plus b whole square formula. Then it makes it easier for you guys. Oh, it flies already. Oh, it's an hour already. Wow. Okay, let's do one more question and then I'll get you guys a break so you can take a little break out there. Let's see, I want to give a good question this time. Okay, so this is a really good one, which I want is one of the good questions for the test as well. It covers a lot of different topics. Okay. All right, let's see. Sudesh, can you please read this one for us?
Yeah, in the figure above, if n is greater than 1, or greater than 1, which of the following expresses x in terms of n?
So we're finding the x value in terms of the n, okay? So it is a right triangle. Whenever it's a right triangle, your brain should go automatically to Pythagorean theorem, okay? So always remember. Good. Yep. All these tests, they set up such a way the kids get confused or they try to choose the wrong answer. That's how they set up these questions. So, and as long as you be careful, then it should be good. Okay, let's see some answers. Okay. Okay. All right, let's look into this one so that we can give a break up there. So first of all, if I look at it, I see some good answers from you guys. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds because I want you guys to try and then see how you can get it because I see a lot of good answers coming up. I'll get you 30 more seconds. Please try. Okay, good. All right, let's see. Let's go over this one together so we can get an idea, okay? Now, when I see this one, obviously, when I see the right triangle, my brain goes directly to the right Pythagorean theorem. We know this is A, B, and C. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Obviously, if I want to find out the B value, B is square root of C squared minus A squared. If I can bring the formula there. So now C value is radical n to the second exponent minus A value is 1 square. So I can simply write it, the square root and radical cancels out here. Then I can get n minus 1. That's B value. So that's it. Good. Okay. So basically the formula is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's a Pythagorean theorem. Since you're finding the leg, B squared equals C squared minus A squared. And then if I find the square root on both sides, then B value is going to be C squared minus A squared. So that is the rule or the formula that you need to know from this. Okay, then you can apply it. It will be a pretty quick answer. So if this question on the test, all you have to do is, let's see, so if this question on the test, then you have to just, all you got to do this, radical n x, and then this is 1. since you know you're finding the leg, you're going to square this. So when you square this, it goes n, and then this is -1 squared is 1, and you square root. That's done. 10 seconds. Okay, less than 10 seconds, you can get the answer on this one. Everybody feel comfortable so far? Good. We see a different type of questions. Okay, so again, I will be giving you guys quiz on this one, the same question that we did it in the class. So I'm gonna give you guys a quiz next week. I want you to guys study all the notes, okay? And if you just started today, don't worry about a quiz, but I want you to, at least you try your best. So that way, you know, we can get that most out of these questions as well, okay? I'll put some quiz together for this one. All right. Excellent. What's time? Ooh, it's already. Okay, let's take a 10 minutes break and then we'll do the reading and writing portion. 10 minutes. Music. All right, guys, take a little break.